Good evening, and welcome to Psychology Theater. I'm your host, Colin Glasso, and tonight we will be taking a trip through the brain and into the cerebellum. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the cerebellum, and we will be viewing a short film, and I hope you can enjoy this video with a loved one. So please sit back and relax and enjoy Psychology Masterpiece Theater. The cerebellum can be found in the brain, inferior to the cerebral cortex and dorsal to the brainstem.
If you look in the bottom right-hand corner of this picture, you can see the cerebellum. It is divided up into 10 lobes, which are more easily visible when the cerebellum is bisected, as seen here in this photo.
As seen from behind, the cerebellum is broken up into two major grayish hemispheres. From the side, the cerebellum looks almost heart-shaped.
In between the two hemispheres is the white cerebral matter you see. It is also known as the tree of life, or arbor vitae.
The cerebellum plays an important role in coordination and motor control. The cerebellum integrates fine movements and also helps you maintain your posture. Recent observations have implied that the cerebellum has yet another purpose. The cerebellum also contains some memory used for reflexes.
Just like the cerebral cortex, the cerebellum is divided into hemispheres. This makes it easier to study. Information from the spinal cord transfers to the arbor vitae and goes from nerve to nerve. In this way, the arbor vitae brings sensory and motor information to and from the cerebellum.
The cerebellum helps us coordinate multiple actions at once and facilitates motor control, such as walking, turning the pages of a book, or moving objects.
The arrangement of brain cells in the cerebellum is highly organized in a perpendicular fashion. This simplicity makes the neurons easy to study also.
Although the cerebellum only takes up about 10% of the mass of the brain, 50% of the brain's neurons reside here.
Much like the rest of the human body, the cerebellum weakens with age. Younger people have more white matter, which makes up the arbor vitae.
As you get older, the white matter deteriorates, greatly slowing the speed of information from the spinal cord to the cerebellum.
Here is a real-life example on how your cerebellum helps you with balance. This is a real-life example on how your cerebellum helps you with hand coordination.
This is a real-life example of how the cerebellum connects multiple actions at once. This is a real-life example of how your cerebellum works with your arms and hands.
Maybe like slightly hit it. This is a real-life example on how your cerebellum works with thought processes and hand coordination.
This is an example of how your cerebellum helps you use both hands at once.
I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. And I hope you enjoyed yourselves and you've learned a lot. If there's one thing that you can take home with you tonight, is that if you could always appreciate how much the cerebellum does for you in your daily life. Thank you, and good night.
If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one down in a second if you wait. I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one down in a second if you wait. Sometimes I think sitting on trains. Every stop I get to, I'm clocking that game. Everyone's a winner, we're making our fame. Bonafide hustler, making my name. Sometimes I think sitting on trains. Every stop I get to, I'm clocking that game.
Mom.
This has been a Barto Glasso production.